Morning. I'm going to be very fast, so don't worry, we don't miss the lunch any minute. How many dozens of emails of GDPR we got today, this morning? A couple of tons. Well, thank you very much for attending this, but the other room is much more interesting than this one. I'm going to show something we have developed recently that is previous to Plunet. When we started to work with Plunet 3.5 years ago, we already had a platform, and we already have a portal. So one of our issues was to find a system in which we could integrate what we already had, right? So we had to remake the customer portal to be able to work with Plunet, right? The clients, always they want full control, right? But our customers, they ask us not only managing orders, but also managing files. And the management of files is a different way of managing the managing of orders. And also, that must be simple, usable. So we had this kind of portal that I'm going to show you now. And this is integrated with Plunet with the API for writing, and we read directly the Plunet database for reading and providing reports. This is more or less our architecture. It's not exactly this, it's simplified. So this is a simplified one. So we have a set of solutions for the end client. We have here our platform, and we have here Plunet. So we built around Plunet and our platform. And we have the back office with SDL, other tools, empty, and all those things. So from this part, we can access to Plunet through the API for writing and for generating events and elements, and we get the data reading directly the database. So for the customer portal, we have basically, I'm going to show you two modules. One module is the file manager that allows the customer to handle the files, to handle the orders, and the tracking module, which allows the customer to get reports, simple reports. I mean, we try to use here the modeling law principle, so very simple to use because they are for very different kind of customers. So for writing, we decided the strategy of always creating first a request. So we do not create directly orders and quotes. We create a request automatically, and from there, we create our order and quotes. That allows better control and better tracking of the process. Actually, we do not allow manually creating requests. So all the requests we create are automatic. If we do manually things inside Plunet, we do directly orders or quotes. So when our platform sends the information to create a request, we have to send a lot of information for the request is correctly created. So we set, for example, of course, the client, but we set also the contact person and the cost center. That's why the synchronization of this data of cost center is hard for us, since in Plunet is just a text. We send, of course, the language pair. We send the project identification. For example, we work a lot with master projects. In our case, any order cannot be isolated, or it has a quote, or it belongs to a master project. This is the rule. If there is an order that doesn't have a quote, or doesn't belong to a master project, there is a problem. The order template, because we can send the information of, hey, for this request, use this template for creating the order. The project name and description that we generate automatically based on certain rules, and certain properties. We have a lot of properties in Plunet. My people say that maybe too much or too many properties. I think we handle now something like 35 properties. So we have domain, origin, that's saying that this is the API, priority, type of service, et cetera, and any comments that the client want to make. Once the request is there, we use a system of rules, and we are now developing this part because it's quite complex. The point is to use rules to decide which order has to be automatically created. So we can decide, OK, this is a direct creation because I give you the name of the template, so just do it. Or we can say, depends on the language combination, you have to use this template or this other template. Or depends on certain property values, you have to use one template or another template. Or even depends on the file extension. If you use an XML, use this template. If you use a Word file, use the other template. Or a certain tag of the customer, or even the date and time. For example, if it's after 6, use this template because the resources of the morning are gone, so you have to use the resources of the evening. So using these rules, we can create automatically the order. And also with the API, we use automatic jobs. So in a certain moment of the workflow, there are some automatic jobs outside Plunet to perform certain things. So when these jobs are finished the task, we can change the status with the API. And also, for the final phases of the items, in progress, approved, invisible, we can do it from outside with the API. But now it's reporting. For reporting, we do a direct reading of the database. So it's really to show our internal information, which is, or can be dangerous. So I'll show you later how we try to be safer there. We have a direct access to Plunet database. We use SQL views supported with RDB-linked schemas for getting better the information. Our reports are faster than Plunet's reports. To do that, we use intermediate tables and real-time search and lookup. And we combine filters to filter in Plunet and to filter also afterwards in our platform. So it's a double. And we can export to Excel, and our export Excel is also much faster than Plunet. But I told you that we show our data. So we show to the customer, not everything is inside, but the information we thought that we should show. So that means that sometimes we do mistakes. We duplicate items, we duplicate lines, or we put that something is rush without the increment of rush. There are many possible errors that, of course, in the billing phase, all these are corrected. When you give an online information system, you have to be sure that the information is as good as possible. So we had to implement a whole set of rules that they work in the night. And every morning, at 9, 8:30 in the morning, everybody in the company gets an email automatically saying, we found these mistakes in the database of Plunet. Not because of Plunet, but because of us. And the people go in and correct those mistakes. So we try that any error, not any because we don't have rules for everything, but for many things we have rules, is corrected in less than 24 hours. For example, what kind of things we try to detect automatically? For example, items that had a duplicate price unit. Sometimes when you reload a word count, it duplicates price unit. You know that. So we detect that. Or for example, jobs that have duplicate price units, or that the contact person is missing, or that item with a percentage price, but it doesn't have a previous subtotal. So the result of the percentage is not right. Or rise priority without rush surcharge, or no rise priority with rush surcharge, so that has an impact in the cost. Or item without price units at all. Or Plunet language set configured in Plin in our platform, etc., etc. So this is the only way we found to control the data integrity. And now, don't tell me, show me. So I'm not as good as Joaquim, as you saw. This is Plunet. Well, this is the portal. We have in the portal 3 areas. We are opening functionalities little by little to the customers. So every year we can show we have something new. And we have here the area or the file manager. So we can here upload files. and also reference material. Everything is connected to Plunet, so once you create an order, everything goes, not only the information for the order, but the files are managed to be placed correctly in the right folder that Plunet uses. So I'm not going to upload files. I have here a couple of files loaded. In the Plunet folder. I can create my own folders, etc., etc. I'm not going to explain usability and all, because we prefer the lunch. So I just can select the files at once. So I have here really the control of files. I have the information here. If there is a clip, that means that I have a context file or reference file. And I can create an order. Now we can create also, but it's not in production, quotes from here. And of course, I can use templates. Templates, workflows, and automation is our life. We love very much. We have maybe now 300 templates for order. So in the beginning, when we saw that updating Plunet that damaged a bit the templates, we panic, but now it works perfectly. So we use also templates. I can take here, for example, general translation, English, French, German, and automatically the system fulfills the template the customer has to create, of course. Here, we can create the name of the service, and we can customize this per customer, because sometimes the customers prefer, instead, a definition like this, the expensive and the cheap translation. And we put cheap translation. And here, we explain, customized per customer as well, what is cheap translation. Of course, we have here the service. We can establish the priority. The data, the deadline is not stored in the template, of course. We have cost center. We can check here the files we have. We can delete at the point. We have the descriptor, and we use this as a keyword for creating the name of the project, et cetera, et cetera. If they don't provide, we take a part of the file or other rules. We have content category, a specialist area, requesting center, other information. We have other options for the service with DTP and other things. We have the language combinations. I can add more, et cetera. We have the reference material. I can add a new one. And we have here the comments. And just we confirm the order, and the order is created. What is happening now is that all the information and the files are sent to Plunet. And in Plunet, we create a request. And from there, it depends, and with this, what we are developing now, now they create the order based on template manually, but we are already in the final phase of developing the automatic creation of both. So if I go there, I filter a request. And it takes 1 minute or something. So let's give a couple of minutes. And we control as well this, because the timing is critical. Here we have the request that we just created with all the information, with the data of the customer, with the comment of the customer, and from here with the languages, with the files, with the reference files, everything is in place, so they can create already the order and keep working, right? Why we decide to build this? Well, first of all, because we already had a platform, a portal, so we have to adapt. But also because that allows us much more flexibility to the requests of our customers. So if the customers, certain number of them, they want a new feature, we don't have to call Plunet saying, OK, can you create a new feature in the customer portal? We do it ourselves, right? And also, it allows to integrate with other pieces that are connected with API also to Plunet. This is only one of them. But we have other systems, for example, connection with CMIS or a connection with other information system of customers, and everything goes to our platform, and we only connect our platform with Plunet. So in that case, we are very efficient. And this is everything installed with 7.1. We are requesting, this morning Giuseppe called you, for update for 7.3 in integration environment, because we want to explore the new improvements of the API, because we are sure that we can improve the behaviors, for example, with sending information with text modules and creating other things. The only thing you have to be careful, and I finish with this, I think that we are in time.
Absolutely. You even have a couple of minutes more, because the session over there started a little later.
Okay. So you have to be careful with what? With the information you send to Plunet through this request API. Why? Because for certain things, the templates, it puts the information on top of the information is in the request. So for certain properties, if you put the other way around, the request is mandatory upon the information is in the template. So if you put, for example, a knowledge area in the template, and you don't put anything in the request, the template data is deleted. So you have to be careful, and that, for example, together with Plunet, we did improvements in this behavior. For example, if we had a template with 20 language pairs, and the customer only wanted 5 language pairs, it didn't work correctly. So we had to have a lot of templates for all the combinations. This is crazy. So now, Plunet, when you send an order, and you say, I want only 5 language pairs, it uses a general template, and it only applies the 5 you are saying you have to apply. So with one template, you can cover all the possible combinations, right? So this is our vision. This is how we work in the case of the portal. And since we have 1 minute, I don't need more, I can show you just the reports. For the reports, we selected an information, a set of information. We can open our, I have to put a data from September, because we have here and today, for example. We have a lot of filters for the request. And we search. So what we are doing now is directly reading the database. There are certain information. We have here a summary of how many words and money. It's a demo, so it's €0. So this information is read directly from the database. We have additional information here. Or we have here all the details of the cost and the files. Because certain orders, they may have 500 files. Because we work a lot in web localization. Here you have the list of files, and you have the item. And when you export this into Excel, that we can do it, you get all the information to display that way in the interface in columns, so you can handle it, and you can search. And also, since the list of files is very high, so you have here the same information, but you have it per columns. And you have also the list of files related to the order, because sometimes there are too many files per order that you need to put it in another page. So that's why we said to our customer, can you give me the information about what we did last week? Do it yourself. You can do your report, but it's only information. It's not the valid thing. It's not the information we support the billing, because there can be some mistakes within these 24 hours that we mentioned before. And that is all. So I hope you didn't bore too much.
Well, that is all?
Yes. Thank you very much.
So, thank you.